Good morning, viewers. This is Kasturi Day. I hope you have spent a very nice time during the pujas. Okay, so let's come back to our studies. Okay, so I'll be continuing with the chapter of this language of chemistry according to ICSE syllabus, class 9. Okay, so before I start, I'll request you to please go through the text videos very nicely so that you can point out your doubts and you can write it in the comment box, or you can access my email ID, that is kasturi74@gmail.com. Okay. And hope you are liking the videos. Press the like button so that they can motivate me to produce you good videos. And also do subscribe to get tuned with me so that we can discuss some ICC pattern question answers of the class 9 syllabus. So I'll be doing that. So you need to continue with these subscription of my channel. You have to subscribe my channel. Okay. So let me start with today's video. So in my last video, I was discussing in my last portion of my video was that of the writing a chemical formula, how to write a chemical formula. First, we need to write the basic radical, then the acidic radical, and then we need to write the symbols. The basic radical with the symbol and acidic radical with the symbol, and write the valencies on each atom on the top of its symbol, then plus or minus sign. We ignore the radicals plus minus symbols, and then we divide it by the highest common factor to get a simple ratio. Then interchanging the valency of the radicals, we get the the formula of what is of the compound. Okay, like I discussed you about the calcium oxide, CaO, which has calcium has a valency of 2 and oxygen also 2, but calcium 2 plus positive ion, that is, and this oxygen has 2 minus, it's a negative ion. Okay, this is a basic radical, this is an acidic radical. Then after dividing by HCF, it becomes that is highest common factor. If we divide it by 2, we get 1. So calcium has 1 plus and oxygen also 1 minus. Then after exchanging the valencies, it becomes CaO, and this one Ca, and the both of them have the same valency. Okay. Like this, see, Ca plus O minus, then, and therefore formula is CaO, because both of them having the same valency. And if we divide the valencies with HCF, we get 1 and 1, positive 1 valency, and for oxygen it's a negative 1 valency. So the formula, we ignore the 1 valency, and therefore we write it as CaO. Next we come to another example, that is Fe2O3. Okay, now in this what is this? This is ferric oxide. Okay, ferric means having the valency of iron as 3 valency. Okay, and oxygen has 2 valency. So iron having 3 valency, so we write it as a symbol Fe3 plus, and oxygen having 2 valency, we write it as oxygen 2 minus. And after dividing by HCF, it remains Fe3 plus and O2 minus, because there is no highest common factor of this Fe3 and O2, that is 3 and 2, we don't get any HCF. Highest common factor is only 1. So if we divide it with 1, we get Fe3 plus and O2 minus. And then we exchange their valencies, then it becomes Fe2 plus and O3 minus. And the formula, therefore it becomes Fe2O3. Hope you have understood. Next we go to this, what is the significance of a chemical formula? See, what is the importance, that is, what is the importance of a chemical formula? Why do we write any compound in a chemical formula format? Why? Because it represents the name of a compound. Okay, the name of the compound is represented by the chemical formula. It gives the number of atoms which are present in the molecule. How many number of atoms are there in the present in the one molecule of that compound? Now, It represents the actual mass of the substance used. What is the actual mass of the substance? Then it also represents the ratio of the respective masses of the elements present in the compound. That is, the elements which are total mass is also represented, and also the respective elements masses are also represented by this chemical formula. For example, see water, H2O. The molecular formula is H2O. Each molecule of water contains 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen. Therefore, the molecular mass of H2O is mass of hydrogen of 2 atoms of hydrogen and mass of 1 atom of oxygen. Therefore, it becomes 2 into mass of hydrogen is 1. So 2 into 1, and mass of oxygen is 16. So 1 atom is there. So 16, 2 into 1 plus 16, that becomes 18 grams. 18 grams is the mass of the 1 molecule of water. Okay. Now, for naming certain compounds, how do we name certain compounds? Okay. So for that, when a metal and a non-metal is considered, for writing these compounds, first metal is written, then the non-metal is written. Okay. And the suffix "ide," I-D-E, is added to the non-metal. So when there is a compound where a metal is there and a non-metal is there, first we write the metal one, the symbol of the metal, and then we write the symbol of the non-metal. And when we write the symbol of the non-metal, the name of the non-metal, first we write the name of the metal, and then we write the name of the non-metal. And when we are writing the name of the non-metal, we are adding a suffix which is known as "ide," I-D-E, to the non-metal. Okay. So for example, see calcium and nitrogen. Okay. So we get a compound known as Ca3N2. Okay. Now, so we mentioned the name as calcium nitride. Calcium is the metal and non-metal is nitrogen. So nitrogen, we are adding "ide" to it, I-D-E, and it becomes nitride. Now, when there's a compound having 2 non-metals, both of them are non-metals, then what we do, we add a prefix to the non-metal, which is tri, tetra, penta, etc. To the second non-metal, not to the first, but we add this tri, tetra, penta, this prefix to the second non-metal. Okay. For example, see PCl3. So for that, first non-metal is named as phosphorus, and the second non-metal, that is chloride. Ion is there, chlorine is there. So for that, as PCl3 is there, so we add trichloride to it. Tri, the prefix tri is added to the chlorine. So trichloride, phosphorus trichloride. Second one, PCl5, that is phosphorus pentachloride, as the chlorine has 5 atoms. Okay. So this compound is named as phosphorus pentachloride. Okay. Now, when 2 elements with oxygen is there, 2 elements are there, and also 1 oxygen atom is also there. For that, oxygen is written at the end of the formula. Okay. See, when 3 metals are there, 3 elements are there, sorry, 2 are in the front and oxygen is added at the last end of the formula. And the name of the compound depends on the number of oxygen atoms which are present in the compound. Okay. How many atoms of oxygen are present in that compound, that determines the name of the compound. For example, a prefix of hypo is added when there is a less than 2 oxygen atoms. When the compound has less than 2 oxygen atoms, then a prefix hypo is added. Okay. Then a suffix ite is added when there is 2 oxygen atoms. When the compound has 2 oxygen atoms, then a suffix ite is added. When the compound has 3 oxygen atoms, then a suffix of ate is added. When the compound has more than 3 oxygen atoms, then the prefix per is added. PER, per is added. For example, I'm telling you the examples. See, NaClO, NaClO, two elements are there. Na, that is sodium, chlorine is there, Cl, and also oxygen is there. But see, oxygen here, one atom of oxygen is there. So it's less than 2. Okay, therefore, we are adding a prefix known as hypo to the name of the compound. So where will we add this prefix to? To the second non-metal, that is not second non-metal, to the this one, chlorine here, the middle one. Before oxygen, we are adding this hypo, the name, to it to represent the how many number of oxygen atoms are present in that particular compound. So the name will be sodium hypochlorite. Okay, this is sodium, oxygen, the prefix is hypo, and a chlorine ion is there. So sodium hypochlorite. Next suffix is ITE. Okay, now when there is 2 oxygen atoms, see, the example says that NaClO2. Now O2 means two oxygen atoms are there. Okay, so we add a suffix ITE to the chlorine. So the name of the compound will be sodium chlorite. Okay, ITE is added to chlorine. So the name becomes sodium chlorite. Then suffix ATE is added to when there is 3 oxygen atoms. See, the example is NaClO3. So we add 8 to it. So the name of the compound becomes sodium chlorate. Then another one, if there is more than 3 oxygen atoms. See, in the example has NaClO4. For that reason, we add per to the chlorine atom. Chlorine, name of the chlorine, non-metal, that is. So the name becomes sodium perchlorate. Sodium perchlorate. Okay. Next is naming certain other compounds, like naming of an acids. How to name an acid? Okay. So for naming an acid, binary acids are named by adding a prefix if there are 2 acids are there. Okay, binary acids. Are named by adding a prefix hydro and a suffix ic. So prefix will be hydro and suffix will be ic to the name of the second element. Okay. For example, hydrochloric acid, HCl. So hydro is the prefix, and for chlorine, we are adding a prefix, a suffix, that is ic. So hydro representing hydrogen and chlorine with ic as a suffix. This is hydrochloric acid. This is a binary acid. Then hydrofluoric acid. Okay. Here also hydro is added as a prefix, and to fluorine we add ic. Okay. Now acids then contain polyatomic acids, polyatomic radicals. Okay, if it contains polyatomic radicals, that is more than 2 atoms are there. Okay, so that has been named on the basis of second element present in the molecule. The prefix of hydro is not used in this. A prefix of hydro is not used in polyatomic radical acids. Okay, for example, H2SO4, the second element is sulfur, and then the acid is sulfuric acid, not hydrosulfuric acid. We don't use that. We write it as sulfuric acid because the second element is sulfur, and we add an ic to the this acid, sulfur. Okay, then HNO3, second element is nitrogen. So we say that it is nitric acid, not hydronitric acid. It's simply nitric acid. It's a polyatomic acid radical. Okay. Then H3PO4, second element is phosphorus, and we write it as phosphoric acid. and not hydrophosphoric acid. Okay. If the number of oxygen atom is less, then we use us, OUS as the suffix. If it is to the higher number of oxygen atoms, then we use IC as the suffix. And if it is less oxygen atoms, then it will be used OUS, us, instead of ic. Example is H2SO3, this is sulfurous acid. H2HNO2, that is nitrous acid. Okay. Now we come to some trivial names. These are the names that are given to some compounds that do not follow the systematic rule. Systematic rule is not followed by some compounds, and those names are known as trivial names, the common names which are used for the compounds. For example, nitrogen trihydride, we don't call it as nitrogen trihydride, we call it as ammonia, NH3, trihydride, hydrogen, 3 atoms of hydrogen are there. So we call it as ammonia, the local language, trivial names, these are common names. Then hydrogen monoxide or dihydrogen oxide, we call it as common name is water. Okay, we call it as water. Okay, so next part will be how to calculate the valency from the formula. Okay, so I think I'll discuss in my next video. Please go through this and be sure to how to name the certain compounds and how to write the formula. Please go through this. Please have a practice over these examples, what you get from the this one, from your textbook also, you can practice it. And also I will be discussing some more questions and also I will give you some homework for you to do certain question answers. Okay, so till then you have to wait and you have to stay tuned with me to continue with this discussion. Okay, and please do press the like button so that it can motivate me to bring new ideas so that I can help you much more in your studies. Okay, and do share with your friends so that they can also be benefited from these videos. And thank you for watching and have a good day.